Hi folks, how's all doing? 1976. If you were around at that time, how old were you? What were you wearing? I would have been 11 years old. I would probably have been wearing brushed denim flares, really cheap nasty trainers, and a Simon shirt, I think they were called. It's like a sort of a t-shirt, I think, with a collar, and or maybe a checked cheesecloth shirt, possibly. Anyway, and I guess I did have a haircut just like that. So this is the 1976 Hornby Catalogue, and we're going to have a look through it just for a bit of a laugh. Respectfully though, I've got great memories of this time and my model railway hobby. So, I'm not going to laugh at it. That's not what this is about. We're just going to have a look through and to have a bit of a trip down memory lane. But you can't help but laugh at that poor kid's green paisley pattern jumper and this paisley pattern cravat. Only in the 70s. So the first thing I'm going to do is not look inside it, but just open this up like that, because I always seem to remember that the Hornby Catalogues, the cover was one big picture, as this is. Great artwork. I love the artwork of things back in the 70s, from Airfix kit boxes to just some of the catalogues and things that you look through in those days. I love the artwork. So yeah, there we go. Britannia and some Pullman coaches. And this was Hornby Railways are manufactured by Hornby Hobbies Rovex Limited, Westwood, Margate, Kent, England. Alright, okay, let's have a look at it. So let's see what we've got. Oh wow. Like I was saying, that's the artwork's amazing. The majesty of steam. I think the catalogues back in these days did a great job of selling the hobby, not just the product. They were selling the hobby. They were trying to capture mainly, kids, young boys, trying to capture their interest and imagination. And I think they did a pretty good job of that. I used to have these catalogues beside my bed at night, and I would read through them. They were nighttime reading for me. These things, these and the Airfix catalogues. How the magic is made. A very simplistic and slightly optimistic view of how they made the locomotives there. But again, still great that they showed that. And there's that horrendous clockwork set that nobody wanted. When I was at school, there was one guy in my school who had a little model railway, but a lot of people had this in their toy box. When you went round to the house and you would play with their toys, one of these would quite often come out. Electric train sets, where the magic really begins. Oh good grief, I'd forgotten all about that thing. The two 6-volt batteries and this really nasty controller. My pal who had the model railway, that's what he had actually, come to think of it. He had a little Great Western pannier, some goods and a couple of Great Western coaches, and that was his setup, but he had one of those. Yeah, we'll not look at that haircut, because that's exactly what I look like at that age. More electric train sets. Oh, there's the... See, I always wanted the Rural Rambler. I always liked the idea of having a little train with those 3 little coaches. Still do. I really still want to get those little Caledonian ones for my little Cali pug. And there's my Class 37. There's the male action, whatever it was called. God, I always wanted that. And there's that horrendous tunnel. Those tunnel mouse are the ones that Peter gave me in that box. Thankfully, he didn't give me this, because I hated this thing. This really nasty looking cheap thing. Because the sets were really basic, weren't they? Just an oval track. You got a siding with the goods one. And more electric train sets. There's my Flying Scotsman and the three teak coaches that I had. It's the 31, so that would be the 1976 version of the Freightmaster set that Andy sent me. There's Great Western pannier, and there's the little wheels wagon that Peter sent me. Where the magic starts to grow. There's a Flying Scotsman doing a bit of tail chasing there. They always made landscaping look so simple. Yeah, you just need some chicken wire and you just bend it into place and cover it with paper mache, and then you can paint it up and it'll look great. I tried and tried and tried when I was a kid to landscape my model railway, and my dad tried, and we just got into a terrible mess. We tried chicken wire, paper mache, papier mache, plaster of Paris and cloth and all sorts of things, and we just gave up. We just got into a mess with it. But when I built this layout that I've got now, I just did it with polystyrene and plaster, and it worked a treat. But polystyrene possibly wasn't quite as available in those days in big sheets, you know, as it is now. And grow further. Gosh, you know, I remember lying on the floor with a couple of my early layouts before I had, you know, finally got one built up on trestles, but I had one that used to slide under the bed, and God, you used to sit on the floor like that. I couldn't do that now, that would kill me. I wouldn't be able to walk for days if I had to spend time cramped down on the floor like that. That layout there, I think I built that one. I think that was one of my first proper little 2-track layouts was that one. Harnessing the magic. Ho ho, there's my old controllers. I had the 900 and the 902, which I just thought were the best thing ever. When you plug these together, you know, you plug this one into the mains and then you plug that one in. This is what they call the circuit controller, and you could slot in your switches on the top like that. It looked great. It was a great idea. This lid thing here used to flip back and had a piece of paper in it, so you could draw a little diagram of your points, and all your switches would slot in to the top. And you had directional control, your speed control, and you could have half power or full power, and I seem to remember the half power just making things really, really noisy. I mean, I think I love these controllers, but my recollection of them is that they weren't very good. I seem to remember the dials squeaked really badly, and nothing would happen until you got the dial about 3/4 round. So I don't remember these being very good for slow running. The Majesty of Steam. Some nice technical drawings there. Although technical drawings always make me think of technical drawing at school, which I actually absolutely hated. And there's my 5 Scotsman, the J83, B12. So I have 5 Scotsmen. I've got an apple green B12, and I think I've got the later J83. I think that's the earlier one. Majesty of Steam. Pannier there with a little cutaway with all the parts numbered. See, stuff like that I loved when I was little. I would look at that and it would just make me want to take things apart. Again, I think that's, you know, part of what these catalogues were trying to do. They're trying to sell the hobby, not just the products, which I think is a great idea. I have no idea of what the modern equivalent of these catalogues are. Let me know in the comments. Do Hornby still do catalogues? I've not looked. I really should try and get a bit up to date. The scenes are all very colourful, aren't they? I mean, it's just, it looks like something out of a children's TV show. You know, it's very, very 1970s. It's all very bright primary colours. British Rail, class 31, my class 37. The R157 diesel rail car, I've got one of those. I think that was the first thing I bought when I got this layout up and running and I started buying stuff off eBay. I bought one of them because I remember really, really wanting one of those back in the 70s. If I'd known then how noisy these things are, I maybe wouldn't have wanted one so much. But, yeah, and the little shunter there. Tell you what, I would rather have that one than that shunter I worked on the other day. The power of diesels. And yet we've got a picture of a steam locomotive at the bottom. And there's the high mech. Yeah, I really wanted that. And of course I have one now. And a nice cutaway of the spider assembly motor there. Slightly oversimplified. It's just a side elevation. You know, they're not really explaining what's going on with the clip and everything up here. But again, you know, it's piquing people's interest. You know, a young boy looking at that's, well, you know, if you have that aptitude, if you were, you know, as I was, you know, I saw things like that and just wanted to take the thing to bits to see how it worked. There's the little Ivet class, it's the black one. Little Bannockburn coal wagon, or coke wagon it was actually, wasn't it? I had one of those. That's what I turned into the little tender for my 040 Cali Pug. Silver Seal. Oh, there's that Ringfield. Right enough. See, everybody said in the comments for the Black 5, there it is there, the Black 5 that I worked on. Everyone said it was a Silver Seal Ringfield motor because I hadn't seen one before. But there it is. Because when I had my layout back in the 70s, none of my locomotives had Ringfield motors. I knew they existed, I knew there was tender-driven locomotives, but yeah. And that's Britannia, Class 47. Class 47's on my list of locomotives to get. Not be long. My intercity coaches. Now, my father bought me that one, and that one. That's the open coach, the buffet coach, and the sleeper. But he didn't give me the brake, and I remember being really annoyed about that because he got me the LMS coaches, 2 composites and a brake. The LNR ones, 2 composites and a brake. But the intercity ones, the open coach, the buffet, and the sleeper, and didn't get me a brake. Maybe they weren't available in the shop. There's the 1970s red and yellow, very garish blood and custard coaches. I've still got those somewhere. And Pullmans, I had Pullman coaches, or my dad had them with the Cardiff Castle locomotive. I wonder what happened to them. Yeah, and that would have been Dublo days. There's my LMS coaches and my LNR ones, still have those. Great Westerns, Southern Railway, which I'll need to get some of these. The wagons. Right, which ones did I have? I did not have the Ocean wagon. I remember my pal did. I had the ventilated van. I've now got a load of those. Had the United Dairies van. Many of those. Always hated that Kellogg's wagon. Northeastern Railways brake van, still have that. And there's the flat wagon with the wheel load, which Peter's just given me. I had a Texaco wagon. I had the Bannockburn coke wagon. I had a cement wagon, and I had Palethorpe's pork sausages wagon. But all I ever really wanted was a load of ventilated vans or a load of mineral wagons, or flat wagons. See, there's no bolster bogies here. That's something that Hornby didn't seem to do at this time, and that's kind of what I really would have liked. I like the idea, and still like the idea, of having some bolster wagons and having some logs as the load. But not in those days. Oh crikey, the cranes and stuff. Yeah, I've had the crane, still have it. It's broken actually. I might try and fix it. And I've got the cleaning wagon. Operating accessories, a touch of magic. Isn't this ridiculous? I don't know what Hornby were thinking of, showing raised sections of track in mid-air like that. I mean, it just looks absurd. I've never been a fan of, raising track like that, using these, what do you call them, piers or whatever. No, I was never a fan of that. I do like that though, dropping the mineral loads into the wagons from the bridge. Although I bet they've bounced about everywhere though. But to me, a raised section track should be on solid ground unless it's going over a viaduct or something. The operating mail coach set. I really wanted that. I might still see if I can pick one up just for a bit of fun. I think, am I right in saying that they later produced an LMS one with the Duchess of Sutherland in a set? I'm sure they did. Signals. God, Hornby really liked the red back in this era, didn't they? Everything was red. Jings. The signal control set. God, I'd forgotten about that. See, I'd love to be able to have the old signals and have them automated, but I'm not sure if there's an easy way to do it, because this big stance that they sit on is a bit cumbersome. Need to see if these things are still available anywhere, because I suppose you could bury them. Because I would much rather have these signals than the lights. I think Hornby still do this, don't they? This LED light for a ridiculous price. Oh my word. Like I say, they liked the red, didn't they? Jeez, I had this one. The town station. Or was it? Oh no, it might be in the village. No, it was the village station I had. And I think my dad got me some extra platform and canopies. And my pal had the little wayside halt here. I used to make fun of him for having such a small station. But fortunately, when Hornby produced the later brick effect stations that looked so much better, I got one of them, so I was able to replace my station building, thankfully. Tunnel and bridges. See, that's okay. I don't mind that. That was fine, and the viaduct. But that engine shed, red and yellow. What were they thinking? And these ridiculous little tunnels, which yeah, okay. Construction kits. Oh my word. Well, they were Hornby. I couldn't remember. I got 2 of those. I got that. I've got 3 of those, and they're all on my layout. I'll show you them in a minute. I replaced the roofs on these. Took these little sort of plastic thatch roofs off and put Metcalf card slate on. Took the bases off and painted them up. And the little shop here, the shop had gone, so I just repainted this. I've actually got a video of me doing this building up, and I had a couple of the bungalows. So there's the 3 buildings that had thatch roofs, and now got slate roofs. That's the building that used to be the shop, and there's my bungalows up there. I think I got them all at once one Christmas, and I'm pretty sure I probably spent Boxing Day just building them all. There you go. I had the petrol station as well, by the way. Still got that in a box somewhere in bits, but it doesn't fit in my layout. Track geometry. I never quite understood any of this when I was a little boy, but my dad was always going on about it, about first and second radius and this, that and the other. It all seemed a bit boring to me back then. There's those awful curved points. I remember my dad bought 2 left and 2 right hands. Cost an absolute fortune. My mother went mental. And they were absolutely useless. The trains derailed in them, they constantly broke the connection, they were just awful. Track accessories. The track plans book. That's a 4th edition, I had that one. I love track plan books. I think I've only ever built 2 track plans. One was that one, that's the one that I talked about earlier, and there was another one. I think there was one that was 7 by 3 in size, and I remember building the underlay. I tried that, and it would just, I don't know, it just didn't work for me at all. It just was more trouble than it was worth. Didn't work for me. Hornby in the home. Yeah, what do you do with your layout? Because it's a big thing to have in your house. Well, you can shove it under the bed. That's what I did initially, and then later on I had it up on trestles in my room, which I basically had a bed and a model railway, and that was it. There wasn't any room for anything else. I'm not quite sure what that is. It's like a big worktop layout. That guy's shoving it behind a wardrobe. Fold down. And yeah, it's dead easy. You could have it elevated from the ceiling on pulleys. I know that can be done, but engineering that is not easy. The biggest problem is if you don't have a nice big loft or somewhere, is where do you put your layout? Again, this is selling you the hobby. It's not just selling you products, it's showing you what's involved in having a model railway, which is a really good thing. Maybe didn't quite appreciate that back in the day, what they were trying to do, but I suppose, sell the hobby, you sell the products. Bringing the layout to life. Trees. Of all the scenic items, trees are probably the most difficult to model. You got that right. Enthusiasts go to extraordinary lengths in the search for perfection, but quite a passable tree may be made by fixing a fir cone to the landscape and painting it. I don't think so. That's just going to look like a painted fir cone. That's quite a nice layout, actually. I mean, it always looks so easy. You know, you think, oh, yeah, you can just do this, paint this, stick this on. No, it is not easy. It is not easy at all. What the hell? Other Hornby hobbies, fighting aircraft. I don't remember Hornby doing kits before they took over Airfix. Frog? No, don't remember that at all. I mean, I had the Airfix catalogues as well. I just about built everything that was in them, apart from some of the battleships, a couple of the tanks, I think, but certainly all the aircraft I think I built. Shipwright, Hornby Shipwright. Don't remember that either. I'm guessing these things didn't last very long. Stamps. Okay, if you're into stamps, you can collect stamps. Minix ships. Crikey, I'd forgotten all about those. Oh my word. I didn't have any, but I remember a couple of my pals had Minix ships. I remember seeing them in the shops. Wow. So there we go. Actually, now I've missed something. Just when I was looking through there was something caught my eye. I want to go back to it. Yeah, here it is. What it says here. Locomotive care and maintenance. After sales service for Hornby Railways is ensured by over 500 stockists who have been appointed official service dealers. Most of these stockists provide repair facilities and maintain a stock of occasional spare parts required to keep your models running. But where there is no stockist near your home, comprehensive service facilities are available from the service department at the Hornby factory. Aye, what can you say? Those were the days. That's all you can really say. So there we go. There is the 1976 Hornby Catalogue. I had this catalogue and I had the one from 1975 and the others right up to 1980. So I would certainly like to get hold of those, and if I get hold of other catalogues, I'll do one of these videos again just to go through them, because I think that they're fascinating things to see, especially these older ones. And so again, thank you to Peter for sending me this. I'll see if I can get the others and we'll do this again. My next video will be my 100th video. I'm hoping to do something a little bit special for that, but there might be a bit of a delay, so you might not hear from me for a few days. We'll see. I've got something coming in the post and I need to wait on that coming. If that comes in the next couple of days, I'll do that video as quickly as I can, and that will be my 100th video. But if it's going to take a bit of time coming, I'll just have to wait. But I don't want to do just another video for my 100th video. I do have a couple of repair videos in the bank, as it were, so they will be uploaded after my 100th video. Right, in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed looking through this with me. That was good fun. I'm going to have another look through it, and I'll catch you later.